Yeah, exmagma's goldball is 50 years old now. And we go back a little further, we go back 201.4 million years. I start with that because the cover of the album was shot in the era where there is Jurassic rock. Joel Taffy, the artist and photographer, found an era not too far from where we lived, because we had our farmhouse at the Swabian Alps, and the Swabian Alps is known for having a lot of Jurassic rock. So the idea was to shoot it somewhere there where it's going uphill so that the camera can be more downhill, and when we stand up further up there we even look taller than we actually were. And as we were standing on stilts, we were really tall, and the bushes around were quite small, so that made the impression even more drastic in a positive way, I would say. Yeah, look at this. That's me, rolling a joint. Fred, noisy, manager, and sometimes producer, boss of the first independent label in Germany, I would say. And this is Wendy. He lives in France now. Since we went to France in '74. They stayed in France. So that's Wendy, a great painter, and he did the roadie stuff for us. And that's Tommy, Fred in the back, and that's a friend from Austria at that time. So this is Philip, front of house mixing, and that's us in our garden at Wäscherhof. I remember when we played there, they woke me up and they set up all the backline, and they woke me up, and I woke up and just got out of bed and went into the garden and played. That's me again in the living room, in the den of the farmhouse, rolling a J. And that's Wendy again. And where the heck is Joe? There is some Joe somewhere. Here, look at that. He liked to be incognito. That's Joe de Lindauer, the painter. Great guy, fantastic. We recorded the album at Conny's studio, his brand new studio, his first own studio. And we were the third band to record there. First was Jasper van 't Hoff with his band Pork Pie. Second band was Kran, good friends of us. And they recorded their second album, I think. It was Andy Goldner. And we did our second album, Goldball, as the third band ever recording in Conny's studio. And that was 1974, during summertime. So it must have been July, end of July, beginning August. At the time we produced the album, or let's say before we went to Conny's studio, we rehearsed some of the tunes in our farmhouse where we lived. We had a big cow stable transformed into our rehearsal room. It was a very nice place to play. To record at Conny's studio was perfect for us because we improvised a lot, and Conny delivered fantastic sound for the headphones. So when we improvised, we had that great sound, you know, with echo and reverb, depending on what kind of stuff we improvised with, what instruments we used, if it was acoustic instruments or electric instruments. And he composed a sound for us to listen to on the headphones, so that inspired us a whole lot. And that made it really work well for us to improvise. We were used to live together with 20, 30 people in our farmhouse at the Swabian Alps. So it was really great for us that we could stay at Conny's studio, not only record there, but also live there during the time of the recording. So no hotels and separate rooms and bullshit. No, we could just stay there with Conny and his wife. The reverb plate from Conny's studio that I purchased when the studio of Conny was all sold, and the reverb plate ended up in Berlin, and I heard about that and I bought it. So this plate reverb is exactly the plate reverb that you can hear on the album. Yeah, goldballs reverb. And this is the original high-watt and orange speakers that I used. I had two of those actually at the time. And one I used, I had this double neck guitar, and one I used for the guitar, and the other one I used for the bass. So this is an original one. Can you imagine that? It's over 50 years old, this one. And it still works. Yeah. And this is exactly the same type of Hammond that Tommy used on the album. Yep. It's not the same organ, but it's exactly the same type. Yeah. This one he bought later. The one he originally used is long gone. And this one here is a Fender Rhodes. Exactly the same type as Tommy used and owned during recording of all the Exmagma albums. I bought this one many years later because the original one broke down a long time ago. Not long ago the album went viral. Yeah, it has over 315,000 views and over 900 comments. The best stream I had posted the album, and boom bam boom damn, real fast. It went up 100,000, 200,000. Wow, man, blow my mind. Yeah, finally, nowadays we are at over 300,000 views and lots of comments and funny stuff. What people write there. Yeah, really nice.
go watch it and read it. It's worth it.